はい、今回はプロンプターの設定をやっていこうと思います。設定というか設置ですかね。まずは僕も慣れてないんですよね、正直言うと。まずはこれを、まずはこの三脚に、これをつけると。これ何番目につければいい？
結構奥の方がいいかな。カメラ
ここ今はこういう感じで、じゃあその、後ろから1234567番目につけてみよう。で9番目にこの丸のやつがついている感じですね。7番目に三脚の雲台つけます。はい、つけました。はい、これで、これはどこなんだ？
上。こ
れはこの上か。これはこの上に。これじゃあまず設置しちゃいましょう。はい、つけました。横の方が分かりやすい。で、これをここに取り付けると。これはどこですかね？
の丸いので引っ掛ける。
この丸いので
引っ掛ける。
こういう感じか。ここはカメラがつくから、ここに引っ掛ける。これ見えるか？これを緩めて、でネジを止めて、
前の方がいい。
前の方がいいの？じゃあこれを1234567891011番目につけますか。はい、これでこれが取り切りました。でこの上にカメラを取り付けると、一眼をつけると。これこんにぶつからないように注意しないとね。これをこのネジをつけると。はい、きつくなりました。 OK です。これでだいぶ整ってきましたかね。そしたらこれをかぶせる感じですかね。
まずそれ閉めない。
まず
それをついてそのジップを
このジップを閉める。最初開いてるのかな？開いてる。こっち側も閉めづらい。はい、閉めました。そしたらここにつけるんで、今映ってるか
な。もうちょっと手前に。
よいしょ。ここにこのなんだっけ、
マジック
テープがついてるから、まずここをつけて、上もつけますか。上もつけて、右側もつけて、つけました。そしたらこのカメラにかぶせる。これをかぶせる感じですね。ここに袋があるから、ここにレンズを入れる感じですね。外れそうなんだけど、これ難しいな。難しくない？ちょっと一回これ外しますか。ここにレンズにかぶせる感じで入れて、そしたらこのネジで下を止めるか。でここはギュッと締めると。よいしょ。
下締めないと危ない。
先に下締める。できるだけ前の方がいいね。この部分はあんまり見えづらいかもしれないけど、この台にネジを通してる感じですね。よしよしよし。 これでだいぶ完成してきた感じですかね。
ちょっとそれもこの斜めのやつの方がいい。
どれどれ？
鏡の。
あ、これもっと傾く。はいはい、この最前まで落とします。そしたらこれは iPad を載せるところですね。あ、違うか。これは何？
わかんない。
これはわかんない。で、ここに iPad を載せると。iPad をここに載せると。こう落としやすいよね。なので気をつけてください。はい。これで完成。こっちは正常ですね。こういう感じで普通に映ってて、こっちからはこういうふうに見て、で、僕がここに立って、これを見ながら喋れば OK っていう感じですかね。はい。で、どういうふうに映るかっていうと、プロンプターのアプリがあるんですよね。プロンプターのアプリがあるんですけど、これを、例えばこうするとこういう感じで、表示される感じですね。こう読んでいく。あれ反転してないんだけど、あ、逆か。これ逆ですね。こういう感じで、はい、こういう感じで、リモコンがあるので、リモコン Bluetooth で接続しなきゃいけないんだ。電源つけて Bluetooth で設定を接続されてますね。接続して、でこれを押すと流れると、この読むところが流れていきます。でこのスピードを変える方法もありまして、それがどこだっけ、ここですね。この3本線があるので、ここでスピードを変えたら、はい、スピードを変えたらこういうふうにちょっとスピードが速くなって、こう下をもう一回押すと止める。あ、上か。下を押したら止めて、下を押したら止める。ここでスライドが流れていく感じですね。はい。これちょっと設定がね、5分ぐらい時間かかるんで、ぜひ早めの準備を行ってみてください。以上です。
So today I'm doing a review of this NEEWER X17 teleprompter. In the box, and oh wow, this is quite smart. Inside the box it's got this nice Ateco case, nice aluminium case with protection on the sides. It's looking really nice. Look inside the box to see what we've got. Oh wow, okay, so it just all lists out as one piece. I'm not sure where that unscrewed from. So it's just basically one complete unit, plus it's got something or other in here. Yeah, that's the remote for the teleprompter. I'm not going to be using that because I'm going to be using this with a Windows device, and I believe that only works with iPads or with Android tablets. So just a few miscellaneous bits and pieces, quality control sticker, lens cleaning cloth, instruction manual, which looks fairly comprehensive, although it's in multiple languages. So depending on what you're wanting, so it's got English at the front, so it's actually only there's actually only 4 pages of instructions, or 5 pages of instructions in English. Take the cover off the screen, the protective plastic off the screen, and there's one on the back as well, which we'll just take that off now. So there's the transparent glass. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is to mount it onto a tripod. Now, a tripod is not included. You need to provide your own tripod. So my tripod has got a quick release mounting point. Now on the bottom of the plate, there's all these little different tripod mounting holes here. Okay, so there's 2 different screw sizes depending what you've got. Mine's got a smaller screw size, so I'm going to mount it onto one of these. You can obviously put it into whatever position you need to depending on what you need it to mount it onto, how big your tripod is. I'm guessing because you're going to have a camera hanging off the back and an iPad or something on the front, you're probably going to want the mounting point to be fairly close to the middle, so it's fairly balanced. So now the tripod, there you go. And second step is you fold the glass forward. Now these little supports around the hood, they pop out automatically, they're little magnetic type of thing, so they will hold themselves into position. And you pull out the tray, so the teleprompter tray is held in place with these little 2 screws that sit around here, okay? So undo those, and that allows the tray to slide out. Now the tray position, the length of the tray, it will sit out here, it's basically 20 centimetres, I make it. 20 centimetres long, or maybe perhaps 21 at a push, that you'll be able to hold a device in that position, okay? So that's what you're looking at the moment. Now they expect you to use Android tablets or an iPad. I'm going to be using a Microsoft Surface, and that sits just nice and on there. So that's the position of a Surface sitting on there. There's just a little bit of room to be able to clip that into position. So that's a nice fit there. The next thing you're going to want to do is install your camera. Now the camera sits in this back section here. There's this little thumb screw that slides all the way along, and that mounts onto the mounting point on the bottom of your camera. So that will screw like that. And once that's done, you can slide the hood underneath the lens. It's probably a good idea to get the camera as close forward as possible. Depends on the focal length of your lens, of course. And once you've got that around there, you're going to want to tighten these little holders up there, so that tightens in really closely around the lens, and that will stop stray light getting in. Tighten that up nicely like that. Pull the hood back out the way so you don't get any stray material sitting inside. Now, the other thing that these screw knobs here we had before do, as I said, they lock in that tray. Now, if you want that to be held in position, you're probably going to do those up tight. But there's also these arms on the end. Now, what these are for, this one, you can't see the one on the other side very well, but as you can see, there's a tripod mounting screw here. So the idea of that is that you can mount separate fill lights or flashes or microphones, whatever you might need to, on here. So you've got a screw mounting position there, and you've also got a hot shoe position down here. So I should mention this is a cold shoe, not a hot shoe, but it's the same mounting. It's the sort of mounting that you would find on the top of a camera where you'd mount the flash onto. So if you've got a microphone or something that goes into there, you could slide that in here. Now, I've got lights like this, and the idea is that you could screw lights like that onto the side of here to provide some extra lighting to the person who's speaking through the teleprompter. It's a bit of a pity that they didn't provide a screw or something to go in here, because all of the lights I've got and most other accessories I've got have got a screw the same type of thread as what's in here, but I don't actually have the other half of it to go in. As you can see, this is an adapter that I would normally put on top of my lights, and that screws in there okay, but it's got a female thread on the bottom. Equally, you could screw it into here, but then you've got no way of attaching it onto the end. So it's a bit of a shame that when they made this, they didn't provide some sort of screw just to go in the back of here, so you could more easily have the option of attaching your lights onto there. Anyway, that's just a small criticism, but hopefully they might update that in future versions. So lastly, what's the effect? Well, I've got some text loaded into a teleprompter app on the Surface here, and as you can see up on the screen, you can see the text that's looking quite clear. You can just see through to the lens of the camera sitting in here. So you can see this is what you'd be seeing if you were looking at the camera. Quite easy to see. Now let's just take a look through the camera lens and see what the camera is actually seeing while we're doing that. So as you can see, the script is running, and on the back of the camera, that's what you see. There's no sound at all. I'm not sure how well that's coming out on this screen, but I'm looking at the little screen on the camera, and there's absolutely no sign of anything. Certainly can't see the words from the camera side of things. But what I might just do, just to prove this, I'm going to record that. As you can see, text is scrolling there, and we'll be able to see from the camera whether you can actually see any sign of that. But I certainly can't see anything on this little screen. It looks like it's working quite well. Now this is not a review of the software I'm using, but this is a fairly simple software. It was free stuff I got with Windows, or got through the Windows Store. But with this one at least, I can just at least stop and start the scrolling speed with this little Logitech remote control I've got, which I use for doing presentations. It's not what it's designed for, but it does happen to have the arrow coding connected to the stop and start button. So while you can't adjust the speed on this particular version unless you buy their built-in remote, you can at least use basic keyboard settings or a remote one like this to be able to control the teleprompter in a basic way. One thing I'm not so keen on is that the camera sits very low on the screen. You can see how low the lens is compared to the height of the glass. So it's right down the bottom, and you can see the same sort of thing when you come into the back. That there's actually not, basically this bracket here, if this bracket was up taller, it would allow the camera to sit up higher on the glass, but as it is, it sits very close to the bottom. You've got to try to pull that sock out of the way to make sure that it doesn't touch, and it means you always, if you're looking, tend to be looking always right down at the bottom of the screen rather than up in the middle of the glass. Would have been nice if they'd made this stand a little bit taller so you get the camera up high, or at least have some way of adjusting the height of the camera. So there you have it. This is the NEEWER X17 teleprompter. I think it's been a great purchase, and I'm sure it's going to work really well for a lot of videos I've got coming up. Hope that's been helpful. See you later.
In this little briefcase is a teleprompter. One remote. Instructions. More instructions. Cleaning cloth. How to get a hold of them. And the teleprompter. So, with this, okay, you lift, move to here, hold this out, pull this out, until it's all together, put your camera in here, and you're ready. Comes with a 1/4 screw. Right here, and just mount your camera to this. Put your lens through here, tighten it around, and then you have accessories that you can put here. It is a hot shoe mount, well, cold shoe mount. And you have 2 different sizes. You can bring it slide out. This is for mounting lights, audio, and here we have, oh, sorry, you have to undo these screws, both of them, for this to slide out. And this is for your iPad. This is the X14 foldable teleprompter. Shows you how to set it up real easy. So you can load up software. So let me take this to the top. Once you get your document into your teleprompter, which is actually your iPad, you want to figure out how big the font is going to be for your reader. It comes in very small, which some people can read, but this little remote here allows you to make it larger. Hold the plus, it increases in size. And then you find out where it is going to be comfortable for your reader. And sometimes it takes a few minutes to to figure out exactly what you want to do for them. Okay, so this is the max size it's giving me. So with this you have pause play button and then your speeds. So you can click on the play, and as you push up it slows it down. You push down, it speeds it up. So the trick with the teleprompter is you do not read the text. If you read the text, you're going to go way faster than the person who's actually reading it. If you read with the person, in other words, keeping up with their pace, you can match them and make it to where it works. So let me back this up a little bit so I can see it better. So right here, like interlipid in the top of check location for compatibility, leaving the hair smooth to the touch. Natural end shades, cool NA shades, intense NN has. It is very easy to use, very easy to put together. Comes with a remote. And this is the X14 by NEEWER.
I have my Canon R7 ready to go. I have the flare guard on. I'm not sure if that's going to be interfering with any of this or not, but we'll find out. And we will screw on the camera to the base. Hope the screw fits, yes. Three, two, one. All right, we have the camera attached. Sort of same idea as how you'd attach it to a tripod. I'm going to take off the plastic. Very satisfying. And we got the other side as well. Also satisfying. All right. And there we are. So let's go back to the camera and see how things are looking. So there's just one thing I'm a little bit, I think these sidebars are probably, I'm guessing for attaching the so cut out that last part. So we have on the side here some supports, and I believe that's what the shield attaches to. So let's try to figure this out. So we got the Velcro hooks on the side of the glass here, and we got the soft Velcro, so that's pretty straightforward. That obviously connects to itself there. It connects very strongly, that's very good. Awesome. And this part here connects down below. Oh, I see, okay. And then you just zipper it closed. Try not to drop the camera in the process. Getting the zipper around the corner is kind of annoying. Oh, there we go. Okay, and now, what are those for? Okay. I thought those bars on the side were for this light shield, but I don't know. I don't really see anything that it seems to just Velcro onto the glass. I don't see the point of these things. So I have to read the manual. And this is kind of nice. So instead of having some kind of a special adapter to the lens, it's just like a little bag, like a Christmas bag. And you just zip it closed. And there we are. It's attached.
Alright, let's check this out. The case is a little flimsy. Just see the top of my garage. So let me just get this out, and looks like it's well packed, but let me get this out and put it together and just see what it looks like. Alright, we'll start with the bottom. There's your bottom plate, tons of 3/8/16 and 1/4 available. This is easier to show down here while it's upside down. But here is your support, very robust support for tablet or whatever. This is quite a heavy and I'll just say it again, robust setup. So you've got the lock for your prompter screen. Basically this just goes like that. It taps out there, but you can set it wherever you want. Pop the support out. Be easier to do on a tripod, obviously. So there you go, there's your support. You've got, there's your plate for your camera. Undo this. You know, you have some room to adjust, and if you want this out, it just pops out right here. It is spring loaded, and then here's your safeties to keep your rig from sliding off. You can slide this entire assembly and lock it down. And then this, you can change the height. Let me do that sideways. But you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, it looks like 5 different height areas that this will index to, so you can adjust the height. So there's a lot of adjustability in this setup to pretty much handle whatever you are needing. This just zips. It's pretty cool. And then you're cinch that around the lens, and you're light tight. It's quite a big unit. Should give you a really good field of view. And it folds out quick, folds back quick, and stores in that case. So it also comes with a Bluetooth remote. I don't have it, it's in the case, to interface with your tablet or whatever. So not bad.
schönen guten Tag. Vielen Dank dafür, dass ich den NEEWER Teleprompter X14 zusammen mit der Fernbedienung und der entsprechenden kostenlosen NEEWER Teleprompter App hier testen darf. Ich verweise Sie auf meine schriftliche Rezension für alle Details, aber die Funktion der App im laufenden Betrieb, die kann man ja doch am besten mit einem kleinen Video demonstrieren. Sie sehen, dass ich hier den Text gespiegelt habe. Das ist natürlich wichtig für die Benutzung im Teleprompter. Ich kann das Spiegeln auch deaktivieren. Dann könnte ich auch ohne einen Teleprompter mit dieser App arbeiten. Ich kann den Textlauf durch Drücken der entsprechenden Taste auf der Fernbedienung starten. Ich kann hier die Schriftgröße verkleinern, bis ich sie fast nicht mehr lesen kann, und auch vergrößern. Und ich kann hier mit der rechten Taste der Fernbedienung die Abspielgeschwindigkeit erhöhen und auch erniedrigen. Und wenn es mir mal zu schnell geht, mache ich einfach kurz Pause und dann geht das Ganze weiter. Wie gesagt, für den Rest lesen Sie bitte meine schriftliche Rezension. Vielen Dank fürs Zuhören.
il teleprompter funziona, Capri. C'è il telecomando, clicchi e parte. Teoria. Non ricordi più come si fa. Eccolo qua. Per regolare la velocità. Carino, eh? Peccato che il mio tablet ha un 8 pollici e mezzo, un po' piccino, ci voleva un 10, un 12. Si ritorna indietro, si torna indietro. Bello, mi gusta sta ragosta.